Tonight, Vice President Harris landing in Arizona for her first trip to the southern border in 3 years, but also facing new criticism from former President Trump after the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director sent a letter to lawmakers revealing more than 13,000 migrants previously convicted of homicide are currently free inside the U.S.
And I've been saying this from the beginning of the Harris-Biden disaster. What they've done to our country with this is inexcusable.
All of it after Trump earlier today met with Ukrainian President Zelenskiy.
Great honor to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Trump calling it a great meeting.
I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. I think that we can work out something that's good for both sides.
Meanwhile, here in rural Cochise County, Arizona, a senior campaign official says Harris will propose tighter asylum restrictions than President Biden. There's been a record 10 million illegal border crossings since Harris and President Biden took office.
We do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed.
Still, crossings have...
So, whose fault is it, before we continue over with this video, whose fault is it that the immigration system is broken? Because, I mean, admittedly, it was broken before y'all got in there, but Trump leapfrogged off of Obama's deporter-in-chief reputation to tighten up even the loose border restrictions that we had. He was going to tighten it up even more. And so part of his campaign promise of what he was running on was we needed even tighter restrictions on the border. And so we needed more border fence, more border wall. We needed more agents. And I distinctly remember when Biden was running against Trump, which Trump basically leveraged and used and leapfrogged off of Obama's border policy because Obama wasn't playing no games when it came to the border, right? This was something that Democrats previously actually championed. And this is one of the rare things that I can give Obama credit for. I don't think that Obama was all bad. I think that the legacy that he left, especially when it comes to the alphabet community and other things, were absolutely bad. But it wasn't all bad. But I believe what we've seen from the Biden-Harris administration is pretty much all bad. In hindsight, and it don't even take 3 or 4, 5, 6 years of them being out of office for us to realize it. And one of the things that I have to give Obama credit for was that he was called the deporter-in-chief and he was not playing no games. He was very strict on the border. And it was one of the things that Biden, prior to Obama getting elected, went town to town to champion as far as making sure that he said that in order for us to have a great country, we had to have strict border security and we had to protect our borders. Now, somewhere along the way, when Trump got elected, Biden, prior to him becoming president, said that on day one, we not building no new border walls. We not doing nothing. And they fought Trump tooth and nail to fund what was going on at the border. They fought him on every piece of legislation. And that's the thing. We need to take a civics classes. We need to understand that we need bipartisan agreement, not just bipartisan agreement, but different layers of our government to make sure that they're agreeing and funding what's happening with our borders, right? And every other piece of legislation. So with that being said, where in that did we get to where we're supposed to open up our borders? I mean, they had tractors lifting up what Texas had put in place as far as all of the barbed wire and stuff to prevent people from coming over here, to let people in, and there's real footage from that. I'll share that with y'all maybe on the next video. Real footage from that. So, okay, cool. You where the borders are. Biden admittedly delegated a lot of the responsibilities, including what was happening at the borders, to you. And now she's saying we need tighter borders. So either one of two things is happening here. Either you're throwing your boss under the bus or you were completely incompetent in doing your job.
Have dropped dramatically in recent months, and Harris is slamming Trump for killing a bipartisan border bill earlier this year. How frustrating was that for you?
Absolutely frustrating.
Harris supporter and former sheriff's deputy Danya Acosta voted for Trump in 2016, but now says he's relying on fear.
That's really sad
Fear.
that people are being used as pawns for political reasons.
This has been in your family for more than 100 years.
128.
Though rancher John Ladd says the Biden-Harris administration should never have ended Trump's restrictive border policies.
And Trump had it figured out.
Ladd took us to a border fence constructed during the Trump administration, showing us where smugglers have cut it repeatedly. He's skeptical of Harris's promise to secure the border.
That's baloney. That's an absolute lie. She doesn't care about the border.
Clearly, we know that. But we know that it's easy for y'all to take a campaign stop. Allegedly, and I can't confirm this, but they're saying online that the necklace that she wore at the border security visit was $62,000. That her campaign stop at the border, with the scheduled stop, she hasn't been at the border in over 3 years. So if you haven't been at the border in over 3 years, yet you think that immigration and the policy around immigration is broken. Yet y'all authored a bill in early 2023 to then fly them over. So really, you gonna get them over here either way. What are we to take? What are we to take from this? Excuse me. I don't know how we then look at this and say, okay, listen, she's gonna get tougher on immigration. The record of her being in the White House and her predecessor did an absolute horrendous job. And remember, let me put the cherry on top for you guys. This came at a time where we couldn't even move from place to place without even taking a jab. You couldn't even go to certain cities to do business. You were threatened to lose your job. But we had an influx of migrants coming over here under the guise of asylum. And so we then realized, listen, this ain't no guise of asylum. In the very beginning of this report, they showed y'all, hey man, there was a lot of criminals that was being left over here according to reports by ICE. So am I supposed to believe the person that basically let everybody in? Or am I supposed to go with the person that the ranchers are saying he had it figured out, but he was fought at every turn with everything that Democrats had in him? And all he did was really leapfrog off of the thing that his predecessor did in Obama, which I agree with Obama on that particular issue. So I'm just wondering, who are we to believe? Are we to go with Democrats or are we to go with Republicans who all band together to say that we need to have a bipartisan agreement in order to make sure that our borders are secure without all of the extra stuff that Americans don't want inside of this border security bill that's basically funding Homeland Security? Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Come and kick it with me in Atlanta. Come and kick it with me in Detroit, November 2nd, December 14th. Get your tickets. Put discount code Anton in the description and then hit apply. And we're going to kick it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I want to hear what y'all got to say.